Alright, so space heater down there on the left. It's really cold. Everything in this box has to get shipped out today, so let's jump into it. Alright, y'all, so welcome back to another video. Hope y'all are doing well during this holiday season. Got a pair of Hokas going out, and I found these down at the Goodwill bins. They did have a couple of, I guess, notable flaws. There was, probably can't tell because I've already plastic wrapped these to get them out of the door, but there was like a small tear in one of the back heels, and also there was a little bit of wear down on the bottoms. I mean, still some life left, but anyway, found them down at the bins for $2. Got 15 plus shipping for them. All right, so this is the double whammy right here, an older style of Lululemon plus their crops, which equates to you're not getting a lot of money for them. I think I found these here in Tennessee. Yeah, I think I found these here in Tennessee. But anyway, they have this writing down on the sole. I mean, not really sure like what that really means. I think I did a little bit of research prior to getting them. But anyway, they're fairly light, 50 cents, and only got 7 in shipping out of them. All right, so this is a new It Tags Adidas Polo. It has the Adobe company logo on it, which doesn't deter me from picking it up, as I have explained over the course of maybe the last 10 or so videos. Anyway, found it down at the Goodwill bins, probably less than $1, and this one sold for 19 plus shipping. Right, so we're right in the middle of the holiday season, and I told y'all a few videos back that I was testing some different sourcing strategies during this period where the schedule just a little bit weird with everything going on, and so I only went to the bins once this week. I've been doing that for I think the last 3 weeks, just really trying to test and see could I find at least 140 items on each of those trips, and I've been able to do that on I think every trip except for the first time that I tried it, and I'm listing right around 20 items per day, and so I just kind of wanted to see if only with once could I at least hit my weekly listing goal, and I think I can if I just showed up with just the right mindset, show up ready to work and work hard. But I think as we head into 2026, I think I'm probably going to go back to 2 days. Reason being is because I got some lofty goals for 2026, and I want to list at least somewhere between 200 and 250 items per week on eBay, and maybe you could do that in one day. I just feel like that's just a lot to ask on one trip. So I do think this experience was beneficial in a sense where I was able to find at least the items I was looking for in a given week. Because I remember when I first moved, I wouldn't even find on some weeks 140 items in 3 trips. All right, so here are 3 notable finds from my trip to the Goodwill bins this week. This is a pair of Jordan 1 football cleats. I believe the colorway they call it, this is the Panda, sort of like the Dunks. This is a pair of running sneakers that I haven't found this brand a ton. I think I found it maybe a handful of other times. It's called the Innovate 8. These are basically in brand new condition, and usually I can get, depending on the model, usually can get right around 35 to 45 plus shipping on these, and these are the F Light 235. My camera's not focusing. Yeah, but this is the F Light 235, and I thought this was pretty interesting right here. This is the Tennessee Titan Kevin Byard jersey. I believe he doesn't even play here anymore, but he plays in Chicago, actually having a pretty good season. I think the last time I kind of looked, he was leading NFL in interceptions. But the reason I kind of put this in here is because I find Titans jerseys obviously all the time, just been here in the Nashville area. But when I was going through my cart, I recognized that there was an autograph right up here in like the top lettering. And so once I got home, I started doing some digging and some research to see what his actual autograph was, and lo and behold, this is it. So y'all, really this time of the year, I'm trying to get stuff out of the door, as I was talking about how I'm looking to up my listing goal to at least 200 items per week. And so I need to make space. Well, I got plenty of space in here, but I'm just trying to clear out some of this old stuff. So a lot of stuff in one of my stores where I sell like mostly like t-shirts, sports bras, kind of lower dollar items. Most of that store is on 50% off, and so I figured I would kind of run you guys through some of the stuff that I'm selling in that store and kind of what they sold for. This is basically just an Atlanta Falcons t-shirt. You find a lot of that down here in just the Nashville area. But anyway, it's a Goodwill Bins pickup, probably 50 cents. This is out of the door for $5 plus shipping. This is a Columbia. It's like one of those, I think the model's called like the Outer Space hoodie. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, this is super old. This was probably a pickup from the bins in Oregon, so a long time ago. It's really light, 50 cents. This is out of the door for $8 plus shipping. This is an Adidas sweatshirt, women's XL, Goodwill Bins pickup, probably no more than $1. This is out of the door for $6.50 plus shipping. And got a Nashville Predators hoodie. This is for youth. I figured I would kind of pick this up and test it. I sell a lot of the Predator stuff for adults, so I figured I would try for the kids. Don't know if I'll pick kids stuff up anymore. Only got $4 plus shipping on this, but again, it's really light, probably like 75 cents. And lastly, this is an Under Armour. I believe it's just a fitted sports bra. Anyway, Goodwill Bins pick up 50 cents. Got this out of the door for $8 plus shipping. All right, so this is just a pair of Nike ThermaFit fleece pants. I found these down at the Goodwill Bins, and I found this blue pair on this particular day, and there was also a black pair in the bin next to these as well. Blue pair finally sold. They're probably $1.50. Got 15 plus shipping out of these. So I got some customer service stuff. These are just 3 returns, and these were all returned because they didn't fit. I was going to a little spurt where it seems like every return I got was for item is not described. I did slowly start to transition into free returns, so I'm guessing that's helping a bit. This one is just a Marmot, sort of like a down jacket. Again, returned because it didn't fit. It was a women's small. This is just a basic Nike. It's like a ThermaFit hoodie. I've been selling a ton of hoodies in the course of like the last month or so. This one, I believe, was a men's large. They probably needed an XL. They said it didn't fit. And this is a pair of Viore. Yeah, Viore. These are, I believe, women's trousers. And I think he said that these were too big. So these are a pair of cool hiking pants, a brand that still moves okay. It used to be really good years ago, but now everybody knows about it. Everybody's selling it, and so you kind of know how that goes. Found these down at the Goodwill Bins, are a pretty decent size of men's, 34, 32, and they're probably no more than $2, and they sold probably under 2 weeks for 24 plus shipping. These are a pair of Democracy jeans. This brand does okay if you find bigger sizes. I first found this brand when I went back home to DFW about 2 or 3 years ago. I picked it up one day and found out that it moves okay, again, for bigger sizes. Found these down at the Goodwill Bins here in Nashville, and I believe these are probably maybe like $2, 3 tops. Got 9 plus shipping out of them. All right, so this is a Predators hoodie. I showed you the Predators hoodie that I had for youth, and this is for men's, and so obviously it's going to do a heck of a lot better than any of the hoodies for youth. Found this down at the Goodwill Bins, $2, and got 16 plus shipping out of this one. All right, y'all, so as this year comes to a close, at this point of the year, I always find myself just self-reflecting, as a lot of you guys probably do, and I stumbled across this plaque that my wife bought for me. It's probably about a year ago. So it's just a little light up plaque that indicates, hey, you passed the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube, which is really a big deal because I stumbled across some data about a month, maybe 2 months ago, and it was talking about how out of all the channels on YouTube, there's only about 9% of them that have 1,000 or more subscribers. So it's a big deal. And I reflect back to the very first video I ever put on YouTube. It was January 2nd of 2021, so that's coming up on the 5-year mark. And I wanted to do YouTube. I really started to think about it towards the middle of 2020, and as we got to the end of that year, I had told myself, okay, I'm going to do it. And I never forget that first day, January 2nd, 2021, I was at the Bins, and I had basically told myself, when I get out to the car, I'm going to record an intro video and put it on YouTube as basically a reselling channel. And I got to the car and I felt like I was going to chicken out, but I put my Galaxy X7, S7, pretty old phone, down on like the bottom console, and I recorded what was probably the worst video that's ever been put on YouTube. And I would watch that video back and I literally felt like I was going to get physically ill. And so I ended up deleting that video, which in hindsight ended up being a big mistake, because it would have been really nice to kind of reflect back on that. I didn't know at the time. I could have just set the video to private and just, I would always had it, but I didn't know what I didn't know back then. But I just want to say my channel's not really a big channel, and that's fine. When I first started YouTube, I had this vision to grow a really big YouTube channel, become like a YouTube star, and that faded really quick as I realized the grind of putting out videos. And so now what's kept me going over the course of 5 years has really been two things. The first one is I love connecting with people. I'm a natural people person, and that just brings me great joy to be able to do that. The second piece is content creation is actually pretty fun once you kind of get into the nuts and bolts of it. Editing is a little bit time consuming, but when you kind of can take something in a rough form, put it together and make a video, it actually is pretty fulfilling. And so that's what's been keeping me going. I just want to say I appreciate y'all for watching. Everybody that's left a comment over the course of the last 5 years. I look forward to continue to try to get videos out, maybe try to grow. That's not really even my vision anymore. It's just about putting out content and just kind of seeing what happens from there. But I just wanted to say thank y'all, man, for watching over the course of the last 5 years. So got a pair of just basic polo Ralph Lauren Cheeto pants. A Goodwill being special, you usually can find these down by the carloads down there, and usually $2 on the buy cost, maybe a little bit less. But anyway, they sold I think fairly quick, under 2 months, for $10 plus shipping. Alrighty, y'all, so this is where I think I'm gonna cut the video off at. It's really cold, and the mailman's gonna be here probably in an hour or so. And this is my second winter operating in this garage. The first time, last year, but I didn't really know the protocol of how to be out here in the elements. So there was days where I would ship all of my items from the weekend. I would do that on Monday morning, and literally there was one day where it was probably like, it was somewhere between 10 to 20 degrees outside, and I was in here shipping, and I tried to make it through like the whole 2-hour shipping session. I'll never forget, my hands literally felt like I had hypothermia. It took like several hours for my body to finally regulate. So now, year 2 in the elements out here, I'm going to take a different approach. So not going to try to stay out here longer than an hour and a half. I'm really cold natured, not really good in the winter. So this is where I'm going to cut the video off at. There was more items to be shown, but got more of these coming in the future. So if you got anything out of this video, like it, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch y'all right back here on the next video. Succeed.
This might be all that I know. Think it's okay. I've got a long way to grow. At my own pace. Go the long way. No one taught me how to walk, but I figured it out fine.